Hey guys, this is Carl, and I wanted to talk to you tonight about these new templates that I've created for you. These are animation templates that allow you to create really cool callouts for use in virtual tour programs. They're animations. The templates that I've created work with DaVinci Resolve, which is a free software product that you can download. Links are in this YouTube channel. You'll also need another free program called APNG. I'll get into the details of those both in a moment. But first, let's take a look at what you can do with some of these. This is a view of beautiful Boulder, Colorado. And if I click on some of these icons or some of these hotspots, you'll see that these callouts appear. All of these callouts, as I said, are created in DaVinci Resolve. If you purchase these templates, you'll utilize DaVinci Resolve and the macros that go along with my templates to easily edit the contents of these callouts, not only the text, but also the colors of the text and the boxes and pointers, etc. A lot of flexibility built into these templates. They support alpha channels, so you can have transparency in the callouts as well. So let's take a look at this. First, I wanted to mention that on the YouTube, you'll find links to this document, which is an installation guide for my templates. It has links to all the necessary software that you'll need to use, and instructions about how to install each of these template macros into DaVinci Resolve. The other thing that you'll see in here is basically a guide to all of the templates that are included in this pack. There's I believe 24 or 26 in here. I believe it's a total of 8 separate designs with various derivatives of those designs that allow you to have the pointers head into different directions. One thing to point out is the arrow that you'll see here at the top. That is the identifier for each of these callouts that you'll use in DaVinci Resolve in order to pick the one that you're going to edit. So you want to flip through this guide, find the one that you want to edit, and then note the number and then jump into DaVinci Resolve. So without any further ado, let's take a look. This tutorial assumes that you followed this guide and have installed DaVinci Resolve and have installed the APNG software and have installed these templates into DaVinci Resolve. It's pretty straightforward. If you follow my instructions, I'm sure you'll have no problem. So again, this is the free version of DaVinci Resolve. You don't need to purchase or subscribe to a monthly service like you might with After Effects. Just download this software and you are good to go. So let's take a look at DaVinci Resolve and I'll show you how to use these templates. Okay, so I've opened up DaVinci Resolve, and the first thing you're going to see is your project window. This is where all of your existing projects are stored and also a place where you can create new projects. So what I'm going to do is just double click on Untitled Project right here and create a new project. And we're in DaVinci Resolve. If you look across the bottom, there are several buttons that specify different functional components of DaVinci Resolve. Media, cut, edit, fusion, color, fairlight, and deliver. The one that we're going to be focused on is the fusion tab primarily, and also to a little bit the edit tab. A couple things I want to point out is that DaVinci Resolve is a pretty complicated program. We're not going to be getting into any of that stuff, but you guys may perhaps open things up that you hadn't intended and feel a little lost perhaps at times. There's a lot of different windows here that you can open up, and you may look at this thing and go, whoa, what did I do? Where am I? The easiest thing to do if you're in that situation is to come up to your file menu across the top, pull down the workspace, and select this option, Reset UI Layout. And that's going to reset the user interface to the default and put you back to where you were when you first opened the program. So just a couple housekeeping things. Up here across the top is an option called Effects Library. And again, we are in the Fusion tab of DaVinci Resolve. You want to keep the Effects Library open because after you install the templates, this is where you're going to find them and select them to use. So let's build one. Let's build one of those animations. I'm not quite sure which one. Let's take a look at the guide, and let's just say we want to build, oh, I don't know. Let's do this one here. And you notice it has, it's callout 22LR. So let's jump over into the Edit tab, and this is what you're going to do to start. You're going to open up your effects library. You're going to come down under your toolbox here on the left and select Effects. And then you're going to see a Fusion Composition effect. You're just going to click on that and drag it into the timeline. And again, we're on the Edit tab of DaVinci Resolve. This creates a Fusion composition in the Edit tab. And with your keyframe, with your playhead over that Fusion tab, that selects that Fusion tab, and you can then click the Fusion button and jump into Fusion. And what you'll see here is just one item in the node tree area. That's what this area is called. You'll see nodes up here. But the media out is the only node you're going to see. Couple of housekeeping items. You can move these windows up and down. This is where you're going to see the animations. Let me just demonstrate how we get one in here. Again, with the effects library open, you're going to click on the templates option. And from here, you're going to see Great 360 Tours folder. And if you click on that, these are all of the templates that you installed from the installation instructions, the templates that I created. And again, we were going to do the, which one were we going to do? Well, I forget which one we're going to do. So let's just pick one. Let's pick this callout 5.1. We select it, we drag it into the node tree. And then you'll see on the right-hand side is this little gray box. You want to click on that gray box and just connect it to the media out node. And what that does then is displays the template up here in this window. And again, you can enlarge this area if you want to. Up here on the top, this little icon or this little button pulls down and allows you to zoom in and zoom out or fit in window. I usually just leave it at fit. So if we scroll backwards, dragging this orange line or forward, you can see what the animation looks like. You can also play the animation using these controls. This indicates that it's on loop mode. So if we just hit the play button, you can see what that animation does, and it'll play it over and over and over again. Let's stop it and move it over here towards the end and make some changes. In the right-hand side, you should have open something called the inspector, but if it's not, here in the top corner of the screen is a button called Inspector, and if you click on it, it's going to open up these tools. And these are the tools that you're going to edit to change the headline, the body, and all the colors associated with this template. So you can see the first option here is headline. Let's just say we wanted to make that mountain. You just type it in there. You can change the font. You can make the font larger or smaller. You can change the tracking in the font. You can also anchor it top, left, or center, and I'll get into that a little bit, but if you need to, you can anchor it from the top and then use the vertical anchor to move it up and down. That's maybe a little bit too big, so we'll just reduce that a little bit. And notice that the action is kind of jumpy when you grab hold of this little button to change any of these. So what you can do for more granular control is just put your cursor in this numeric area, and while holding down the mouse button, drag left or right, and that gives you a lot more granular control over the size. Okay. So let's just leave it at that. Let's scroll down a little bit and you'll see the next item is big box color. That is associated with the black area of this box. You can change that simply by selecting a different color here in the color picker. Make it something like this. You can change it other ways too by adjusting the color sliders. You also can adjust the alpha channel, so if you want that to be transparent, you can just slide the alpha channel all the way to the left or to the right for being non-transparent. If you slide down further, here's body text. This is this text that says Gateway to the Rocky Mountains. And similarly, you can change the font here, make it whatever you want. Maybe a little, oops, and again, put your mouse right in this area here to make it bigger or smaller. That's probably too, not a bold enough font, so we'll just make it bold. Adjust it down. You can change the line spacing to adjust the spacing between the lines, along with, again, with the tracking. Scroll down further. Body box color is the body text, Gateway to the Rocky Mountain National Park. It's the color behind that area. So if I just come in here and select this, we can make that whatever color we want. Let's change the font color to white. Okay, I'm not going to take too much time to be a graphic artist here with these colors, so don't criticize me on that stuff. But again, you can also change the transparency of the body box color. The stroke of the box you can change using this color picker. The pointer color, as you can imagine, is that line right there, so we can adjust that line however you want it. The spark color is this red ball that moves along the pointer, and you can change the color of that, of course, as well. Let's change the pointer color, make that maybe darker or white, maybe like that. And the diamond is this area here at the bottom, at the base, so we can make that white as well if we want to. And at the very bottom, first I'll just say you're about done. Let's just play it through. Click the rewind button, hit the play button. There's our animation. The final step to rendering this out as a series of PNG files is at the very bottom of this inspector. You'll see a text box for file name. This is where you simply give the file a name, and we're going to call it Mountain. And very importantly, you need to end it with the extension PNG. It will not work if you don't include .png at the end of it. Also, for some really weird reason that took me many hours to figure out, the file name has to be in lowercase. If you put it in capitalized letters, it will fail, and I don't know why. So you give the file a name, click the browse button, and it's going to allow you to navigate to your directory where you want to store this stuff. Somewhere here I have here we go. We're going to put it in test1. You want to double check again that the mountain.png file name includes the .png extension. And also, very importantly, the file type here, it'll default to OpenEXR files, which you can't use. You need to have it at all files. And if you click on save, that then has told the system what to name these series of files and where to put them. The last step here for exporting these images is to come up under the Fusion tab up across the top, pull down to Render All Savers. Once you do that, it's going to go through a process and generate all those PNG files, and you are done with those. And let's take a look at our folder, see what they look like. So here is our test1 folder that we just created. All these are sequentially numbered. I could open them all up and show you what they look like in preview. If you scroll through these, you'll see you can see that the animation is getting built with these individual files. So that's what you need for exporting. Now let's assemble them into an animation, and that's quite simple. After you've downloaded and installed the APNG file program, APNG, it's called APNG-B on the Mac. And there's information about this in the guide that I created. All you need to do is drag those PNG files from your folder into this window of APNG. And importantly, there's a couple things you need to be sure are set here. You want to be sure that under optimizations, neither palette or color type are selected. So make sure that these are unchecked. And you want the compression type to be zlib. So if you click on that, those are the only three settings. Turn these off and be sure it's set to zlib. Hit the play button, and it has now built the animation for you out of that sequence of PNG files, and it's asking you where to put it. So we're going to put it in that folder, test 1. You can put it wherever you want, but I always store the animation in with the sequence of PNG files. Click on open, and it's done. And if we look at the test 1 file folder over here, you'll see it has created a file at the top. If you look by date modified, APNGB-animated PNG. This file is now ready to be imported into 3D Vista to be used as a hotspot or what have you. And I'll take a look at that and show you how that's done now. Okay, so here we are in 3D Vista Virtual Tour Pro. This is the hotspot section that I want to show you how to import that animation that we just created into. And it's basically just like any other hotspot. So we'll come up here to the image button, select from the option to import your own image, and then navigate to the directory where you had stored that animation, and then double click or click it and select open, and then place it where you want. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to enlarge it a little bit, and under properties there's a couple things I'm going to change. I want to not have it play as a loop, but I do want to have it stay at last frame when finished, and I'm going to turn off on start for play, and for frames per second I'm going to change that to the native frame rate of the animation, which is 24 frames per second. Now let's just do a couple more things. I'll change the name of this first of all to Mountain Callout. We're going to add an action to it so that when it's clicked, when someone clicks on it after displaying it, it will hide it. So we're just going to hide that. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate a hotspot I already have in this project. So this Denver hotspot, I'm just going to copy and paste that. I'll change the name of that to Mountain Hotspot. Okay, and these actions I'm going to change to reflect the new callout, not the Denver callout. So I'll double click on the 3 that I already have. This one will shut off this animation for the town of Boulder that's playing. So I'm going to leave that one alone. The next one, I'm going to change the hotspot action on click so that instead of it pulling up the Denver hotspot, it's going to, the Denver callout, it's going to pull up the Mountain callout. And then I'm going to change the show hotspots, not to show the Denver callout, but to show the Mountain callout. And let's see, that might do it. Oh, I need to move this hotspot over that I had duplicated. We'll just put it right here. Okay, I think that's right. We'll preview it, take a look. Oh, one more thing I'm going to need to do, and that is, oh, no, I guess maybe I don't need to do that. So here it is, and there's our new hotspot that we created. So that's it. Some steps involved, but it's not too bad. I've tried to make it simple for you. All of the callouts that I've created, the templates, function identically to the method that I just showed you. So if you can master learning what I just did, you'll be able to edit any of these other ones without any problems. please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be using this for support for these callouts and other things I'm creating, and keep an eye on this channel because there will be some more pretty cool stuff coming out real soon. So that's it for tonight. Thanks a lot, and see you on the internet.